Hello world, my name is Olive and welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about getting a job, which is one of my favorite topics, so let's dive right in, you guys. So I have done so much research, just so obsessed with LinkedIn and, trying to get internships, trying to get jobs for friends and all that I wanted to share just some of my experiences and a little bit of my expertise with you guys today. First of all, you guys need a LinkedIn. Most of you have one, or you need to have one, so go out and get yourself one. But you really do need a LinkedIn because essentially it is the platform. Think of it as like a social media platform, but for getting a job that will pay you money so you can live your life. I have been on LinkedIn for years, since I graduated high school, even before then, but only recently, like in the last 2 years, I've only started engaging people on that platform. Like any other social media platform, you guys, it has a messaging function where you can message, people you're connected with, or the equivalent of like your friends on Facebook, but they're not your friends, they're your professional acquaintances, so keep it professional, you guys. Or sometimes, depending on the person's privacy settings, you can message complete strangers, but please be careful with that. And I'm going to make a later video on how to do a proper message on InMail. But even if you have a connection of 50 people, guys, that is like a huge circle already, because if they know maybe it's not the person you actually want to talk to, maybe they know someone at a different company that you want to talk to, guess what? That is your connection. You have to use that to your advantage. And I know it's so scary. Like, I had so much fear starting this whole process with reaching out to kind of complete strangers, to be honest, or people I didn't know that well, and asking them for their help. But let me tell you, my success rate for this has been astronomical. I'd say it's like a 3% acceptance rate of asking people to help me. And it's not begging. I ask in a very professional way, and the few that have said no, I actually can't even remember people who have said no, it's just kind of more them not responding to me, is totally fine. And again, the majority of people want to help you. They want to help you advance your careers. That makes them feel good about themselves, that they help someone in a significant way. So don't be afraid to ask people, hey, can you connect me to, I see this person on your LinkedIn connection web network. Sorry, I'm looking for the word network. On your LinkedIn network that works for a company that I've been, dreaming about working for years. Would you mind connecting me? Guys, like 80% of interviews that people get are because they have a connection. Don't let anyone fool you. And that's actually a good thing, because if you have a platform that allows you to reach out to anybody and get those connections, your ability to go out there and get those chances, get those opportunities for yourself. I would say 93% of people I've reached out to have absolutely responded positively and are willing to help me, and I usually get an interview out of it. Okay, you guys know this, but you have to write down questions if you actually get an interview, because the number one thing not to do in an interview is come into it and say, at the end of it, I don't have any questions for you. That'd be like if someone was on a first date with you and they asked you nothing. You have to come in with questions to show that you are interested in the company and getting to know the company and what they do. If you don't, the interviewer, the recruiter is wasting their time. Why? Think of like whatever your salary is going to be, and why would they waste that amount of money on someone who doesn't even care about what they do? So most of you know to ask questions, but let me give you some direction on what to ask. In general, there's two types of questions. I know I just held up 4 fingers. There's two types of questions, you guys. One are like the more technical questions, which are appropriate in some respects, but you kind of want to mix of both technical and what I call organizational, behavioral questions. So let me give an example of both. Technical could be how many people are in your Austin office, how many people are in your New York office, how many people are you looking to hire for this role? Is it just me, or are there going to be several new hires? But the other types of questions, organizational, behavioral questions, are things like, and these are the ones I would suggest you guys asking if it's applicable, are, is there any horizontal movement within the company, within this role? Vertical is like, okay, you're going to be a beginner, analyst 1, or whatever the title is. Year 2, you'll be an associate. Year 3, you might be an account executive. Obviously, this is for business, but it can apply to whatever field you're going into, whatever role. This linear progression, projection of where you might be with your role in 5 years at this company. horizontal is moving more, side to side. Let's say I start in a sales role, but I want to move to marketing after 2 or 3 years. Is that possible? Is there a lot of changing between departments if my interests change, or if, there's a role in the company that better suits me without leaving the company? So I think that's always a good question to ask, both for your knowledge, and it shows that you're investing in the structure of the company. Talking about culture, you should definitely ask about the culture. I've been in very different types of cultures in the workplace. I've been in very financial, heads down, everyone working individually or going off in separate. Even if it's like an open concept room, people are very singled out into what they're doing, and that's fine. I've been in cultures where it's very collaborative and you're constantly in meetings with your team members, your teammates, and it's just different wherever you go. It's also a really good way to jump off of whatever they say. So if you say, how open is the culture, how open is upper management to questions from even, a starter analyst or something, or starter position. Can I go to upper management with my questions, or is there like a hierarchy I need to follow? That's a really good question. Whatever they tell you, you can go off of that. Another question, what is one thing that the company does well? What can it improve on? I like this question because you are showing that you don't have rose-colored glasses on about this company. You know that all companies have stuff to improve on. There's constantly challenges they are working on. And by showing interest in that, and maybe even knowing about it ahead of time, formulating kind of like your own opinion and possibly solution to this problem, is a great way to show you're proactive and already thinking about having this job. So going off of that and using the first point about LinkedIn, use that platform, or maybe if you have an email to someone at the company that you're looking at, just whatever, reach out to those people and ask for an informal chat with them. And you can say, like, I'd love to learn more about your company. I actually have an interview with them coming up. Is it all right if I just shoot you some questions over the phone about this? And most people will say yes, you guys. They want to help you. It also gives them a break from their day. Just ask them for 10, 15 minutes. And you can ask them about, have you ever, like, when's the last time you were in that interview process? Can you give me a few tips? You can also, a few very important things to ask about are dress code. Someone gave me that tip a long time ago, and it was so helpful, you guys, because, a lot of people are worried about being underdressed, but there is a thing being overdressed too. They also, more than anything, want to make sure you will fit into their culture at that company, and you may be deemed too corporate, or I don't even know, but you want to kind of fit into their culture already in the interview while also staying professional. Ask that person what they were looking for in a candidate. Obviously, this person has knowledge. They've been at the company for quite a while or for some time, and they themselves are part of that culture. And so they're a great person to ask going forward, to saying, what is an ideal candidate like? What attributes, what qualities does that person exhibit to be successful in this role or job or company? And I think again, I kind of touched on this before, but you can also ask that person your connection about the challenges that the company is facing right now. It's not to make the person feel uncomfortable and make them talk about things they either don't want to talk about with their company or can't talk about, but it's just to kind of show that you've done your research, show that you're interested in solving problems for the company, which is literally, again, what they want from you. Have 3 to 5 stories ready at a moment's notice, you guys. If you've ever prepped for an interview before, there's all these questions online that an interviewer can possibly ask you, and it's so overwhelming. I know I've done those things where it's like 100 questions they could possibly ask you, and obviously the interview is like 10 minutes, so there's no way they can ask me all those, but for some reason I feel I have to prepare for all of them. Well, the quick and easy way that most people recommend is just have 3 to 5 general stories of past workplace experiences, past work experiences that you have that can apply themselves to a variety of questions they could ask you. A common question that's often asked is, what challenges have you faced in your last workplace, internship, what have you? And have a story ready that demonstrates a challenge that you overcame. Obviously, at the end of the day, you want all your answers to show that you've overcome a challenge or succeeded in something. You're allowed to have humility with it and show, okay, I didn't know, a certain skill before, and there was really a steep learning curve coming into this role, but then I asked for help from my peers, from my coworkers. I did a little extra time at work to learn and hone that skill, and now I teach others about it, something like that. And you want to have 3 to 5 stories that can kind of be slotted into multiple questions at a moment's notice, because you never know what they're going to ask you. Lastly, you guys, when it comes to sending thank you notes, a lot of people expect emails, and actually for my first internship, I didn't realize the protocol was to send an email. When someone said send a thank you note, my mind just automatically went to, I'm going to write them a thank you card, like a physical thank you card. I don't know if people still do that now, but I've done it with my family for, Christmas presents and all that. So that just is what popped into my mind. And so I sent all my interviewers from that day a physical thank you card, which I'm told that some of them still keep today, because that's apparently is just like not what people usually do. I'm not really sure, but I think it's always a nice touch. First of all, you should always thank your recruiter first in email, but the fact that clearly they were so touched by the fact that I'd taken the time to write a thank you card physically to them and mail it to their office clearly showed that I was going above and beyond to get that job, to show that I cared about that job and that role. Include something a little extra, like a little personal touch to their interaction with you. So if they mention, because I know there's a lot of small talk in the beginning of an interview about, I don't know, the weather or something, or sports teams, include that. Something, you guys, whatever you talk about, make sure to memorize it, add a little like personal touch to that note, and it will really mean something to someone who's taken their time out of their day to talk to you. So I hope these tips helped you guys. Obviously, there's a lot more than just this, but these are great starting points. And honestly, you guys have got it. Just show confidence. I will be putting up another video soon about how to message and what to message a LinkedIn recruiter, or just what to LinkedIn message connections of yours in your network. That'll be coming soon. But until then, I will see you guys next time, and keep being awesome.